Coach, how important do you think it was to get back in front of this home crowd and started off the season with a win?
No, I mean, it's huge. I didn't think I was going to make it to the game. I had a Google map where the Montaigne was. I hadn't been there so long, so I was happy, to get here in time. And no, it's huge, especially our schedule is ridiculous. 11 games on the road, and that's not going to happen again. And it's a lot harder even than I thought. Coaches, we get arrogant sometimes and think we can overcome some things, but that is just something we couldn't overcome. And so our guys have just been beat up for 2 months from a game situation, travel, and what people don't understand, we don't have a lot of practice time either, when you travel like that. And so the good thing was when we came back from Christmas, we had 3 good days of two-a-days. We had a couple, when we got back from Christmas, we had a couple of days of two-a-days, and then a couple of days of just good hard practice that we just haven't been able to get. And then from a confidence standpoint, I thought, we almost gave it away, turnovers and missed blockouts, but you got to take the first one any way you can. I've said this before, sometimes you got to hug ugly. They're not all going to be pretty, and from a confidence standpoint, for the last game of the pre-conference, going into conference, you need a win, and so we'll take it, plus I thought it was against a good team that would do well in our league, so we just got to take the win, and we just got to improve on it, though, and quit making the turnovers and the missed blockouts, because that almost cost us the game.
Do you think that shows the kind of character these young guys have this year, that they are sticking together after a tough start?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what everyone was wondering, just other friends and coaches, starting out 1-10 and being all those games on the road, like, how's the confidence level? I mean, how's practices? And these kids' enthusiasm, they're resilient. Kids nowadays are sometimes you wish they weren't so resilient, and that losing hurt them more. But in a situation like this, it's a good thing because, we've had really good practices that hadn't slipped, and now these kids will have some confidence going into the conference.
How about the play of Brennan Doty today, getting a few more minutes than we expected to see him out there, and he looked like he was really trying to fit in and hustling all over the place?
Well, if you guys have come to practice, you know that he's been playing pretty well. And he's probably the most improved player, honestly, that I've ever been around. Last year, I never thought he'd play for us. Good walk-on, kid from the area, good to have on the team. But I'm telling you, that kid worked his butt off. And right when he showed up in workouts in the fall, I'm like, is he that good, or are guys, I have to, I tell you the truth, I'm gonna be that, or are guys that bad, because we're talking about a walk-on kid that played football and played organized basketball for 2 years. But then, every day he was doing stuff, and I finally told the staff, I was like, that kid's gonna play for us. I was like, that's what we need. That's what we're missing last year. A kid has that type of feel of the game and can cut and move, and I'll give him credit. He's the most improved player I've ever been around. But then the problem was we couldn't get him eligible because of the BS transfer rule, even though he was didn't play at Oregon, because we were really hoping to have him, right from the get-go of the season. And so we've been chomping at the bits. He's kind of been a secret for us. Really the only person I've told about is my dad. Because my dad, he loves football players to begin with, and he always asks, how's the football kid doing after he transferred? Last year I was just like, Dad, I don't know if he'll ever play for us. Works hard in practice, be a good practice player. But then, after the first month of practice, he was the only guy I was telling that I really thought he could play for us, and I think he proved that tonight.
Do you think your team's ready for conference play?
I don't know. We have no choice. But I'd have to say yes. We've just tortured these poor kids for 12 games and against good competition, so I think we're ready. But, we still got a long ways to go, but these kids shouldn't have any problem playing on the road or in front of crowds after the couple months they've had.
For a team that hasn't played together for a long time, are you seeing them come together more now and I guess, shaping an identity to the team?
Yeah, we're getting our rotation down. That helps. Guys are starting to know their roles, but yeah, it's a good locker room. That's how I judge it, because I stay out of the locker room except when I talk to them before, after practice, and the games, because that's kind of like their sanctuary. But you can always hear them, walking by. And if you have a loud locker room where kids are getting along, that means things are going good. And a lot of coaches don't talk about that, but that's huge. You can't have a bad locker room, and these kids like each other. And you don't have to be buddies, but you got to have respect there when you play, and we have that. But we just got to keep getting better. And but it's coming. It's coming.
the ability to close out a game, what does that teach, your kids?
That's huge. And I'll tell you who was big, was Donnie Miner. I mean, he wanted to go back in the game from a defensive standpoint. And he took the guy and stopped him at the end. And he didn't have a good game. I mean, I wasn't one of Donnie's. He had a bad game, but he didn't pout, didn't sulk, and we put him in when it counted, and that's the biggest play of the game. And to me, that's a senior. It's not the numbers you put up, because you're not going to have a great game every night. But can you do something else besides score? And he did, so that was huge. That right there was a huge play by a senior. Wanted to go back in, and we were going to put him in anyway, but he was like, Coach, I want to get in for defense. And then he takes the guy and done foul, good pressure. The guy couldn't get off a good shot. So that's huge too from my point, not just how the teams jump, but now I got seniors that are playing like seniors.
Brennan diving for inbounds where they're rolling up. Where do you learn that from?
Probably his mom and dad, or that's just some things are just instinct. But you gotta get the kid was quarterback. Now I'll change my terminology a little bit because I don't want to get in trouble. But you can be a soft player. Okay, you guys know. Okay, and be good at basketball. But you can't be a soft player and be good at football. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So the kid's tough, and so he gets it from football. That's where he gets it. Because I have some guys on the team that are just basketball players, and they still don't get on the floor. So I think he gets it from football. It's just that mentality. Because that's a problem with basketball. You can be soft and still be a good player, but you can't be. I mean, you'll get eaten alive in football.
You think you have Lamar's best quarterback on your basketball team?
Wow.
I just want to.
Hey, if he could help football, I'd love for him to do it. I just thought that I'm not the one to be the judge of that, but from a leadership standpoint and everything, he's darn good. You guys know more about that. but if he wanted to play football, I'd let him play football. I wouldn't hold him back because I think. Especially when kids have an opportunity to play two great sports like that, you can't hold them back from that. But I like him to keep playing about, yeah. But, I like Ray. Ray and I are friends. I'd never, disallow a kid to play both sports. And it'd be kind of neat to have, a stud like that, at your school. So a lot of other schools have them. But, that's up to him. But I can tell you, I'm not going to be one to be like, why do you want to do that? I mean, if you can do both and be good at them, why not?
What about Blanks? Can you say anything about him?
No, he played well. Yeah, and that's the reason, and I feel bad for him and Minton. Minton's better than what he showed. He's struggling right now. I mean, he's hit a wall, freshman. Those four kids, we threw them out. The first game they played is Kansas State. I mean, and they've had a confidence problem, but they've shown glimpses in games, played a half, but that's why we brought them here. And Keelan, because we need that score, after losing James and Buck and Lamb, and then Brandon is shooting. That's why we brought him here. So it's kind of nice to see him coming along like he is. 'Cause he's been struggling. All these kids, poor kids, have struggled.